Shit. Ah. I had so many plans for the day, but they all went kaputsies. Well, not all of them.
Does it mean you're doing something right or doing something wrong?
Um, totally forgot that daycare was closed, so
Ah,
had to go run and get youngest boy from the bus and then take him to get a haircut. Then forgot that eldest boy had ultimate frisbee practice and was getting concerned that he still hadn't arrived from the bus stop when it occurred to me that he wasn't riding the bus today. And then I had my mom show
don't
up
people
with
have like a fancy calendar thing?
we do, but the fancy calendar is upstairs and I'm downstairs. And I may have accidentally watched a couple extra episodes of Doctor Who, starring David Tennant today, and lost track of time.
Well, I guess at least it's for a good cause.
Yes, yes. Obviously. I wouldn't do it any other way. Duh.
I mean, I'd say I have no doubt, but I do have doubts.
I forgot how dark the first season was.
No, it's like Eccleston's pretty dark. Tennant has those moments of still being dark. It's not
Yeah.
really until Matt Smith where it gets to be a little bit loopy.
Yeah. And then Capaldi, is that it? He
Yep.
brings it a little bit back to it's still kind of like there's some rainbows in there, but he is grumpy.
Yes, he's a grumpy old man.
And
He's
then the,
definitely he's the definition of get off my lawn, you young whippersnappers.
and then I would butcher the last actor's name, so I'm not even gonna do it, but it was very Disney E.
I haven't actually seen any of his.
It's okay.
Well, like, so I had Hulu, right? And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I know I can watch Doctor Who. I didn't realize it was just
Disney
his
Plus.
seasons. And
Yeah.
so I haven't seen, I have like no access to the Jodie Whittaker seasons on anything that I stream.
Right.
And I'm not getting BBC literally just for that. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is
Although
annoying.
BBC has some phenomenal shows.
fair, fair.
Or you could get the BritBox. I guess that's the
Isn't that the same thing, basically?
I think that's like the British TV streaming service. It's more than just BBC, or it's more than just the main BBC. There's like apparently there's other BBCs.
Huh. Other Bix, Bibix.
Babuts. I wait all week for this moment. Good evening, gents. Hey, Chip. Good evening to you. All right. It is now 8 o'clock, or just after 8. So we are going to hit the record button and mute Zealeus, and we will start the show. Per usual. Oh wait, I gotta mute that part too. All right, now we're ready. Let's do
Muting
this.
everyone.
Yep. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Just Shelter Confusion Thursday night hangout.
Thursday, not to be confused with Wednesday.
Yes, we're actually doing this on the correct night. So, ta-da! Thursday night hangout on a Thursday.
I was so confused last week because normally, like, you get done Thursday night hangout means like I'm almost done with the work week. Last week I still had 2 more days of work. And I'm like, I can't handle this.
Yeah, I kept getting confused. I was telling Zealeus as we were wrapping things up that I couldn't figure out why I couldn't find the Thursday night football scores.
It wasn't Thursday night.
Yep, that would do it.
I think you actually asked me that last Wednesday, and I
Yeah.
didn't put 2 and 2 together at the time either. I
Anyways,
was like, that's
so ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, I'm your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
greetings.
This is the Thursday night hangout, or this is a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. At any point during the show, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, topics, whatever, opinions, add it to the chat, be it on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. and we'll try to add it to the show. If we do, unfortunately, run out of time, we'll add it to the very next show. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. And the first one is kids do the stupidest things. Let's just
And adults. I know.
Well,
many
yes,
stupid-
adults. Yes, I can't say that adults aren't dumb as rocks as well, but
Adults at
apparently,
least don't have a reason. Kids don't have a reason.
here's a story that I'm just going to read the headline. We don't have to even go into it because it's that stupid. Okay, doctors warn of increasing pediatric burns linked to a TikTok trend inspired by the movie K-pop Demon Hunters. Children are mimicking characters by eating instant noodles from tall, narrow cups, which easily tip and cause severe scalds. Experts urge parental supervision. Okay, first off, for anyone who's actually watched K-pop Demon Hunter, you will notice that Rumi, the main character, points at the cup that basically states you have to wait to let it cool off. So
I mean, what should the show have done? Wait, we're going to have a 5-minute interlude where we wait for the noodles to cool off to not give up any bad ideas. So sorry, guys. We're going to do, instead of your soda pop, we're going to sing your ramen noodles.
well, first of all, wrong band. Because Soda Pop is oh my gosh, I just blanked out on the boy band name. Soulja Boy.
I mean, I know it would have been their like cheesy song.
Anyway.
I know Soulja Boys did Soda Pop. I know that.
Right.
But then the Hunters could have had their own cheesy food song with like My Ramen.
Well, maybe in the sequel.
It would have been a hit. I'm just saying.
Of course. Well, I think anything that came from that movie has been a hit.
Touche. As it should have been.
Yes. But seriously, I mean, I understand eating food fast challenge, but I mean,
is that like the drinking milk fast challenge in college?
Oh, the chug a jug, jug. Where you?
Yeah, that's like
oh Lord,
that's literally so physically impossible to finish.
That's so stupid.
I mean, I'm just saying. We're saying, kids and so college students. I think it's actually like your intelligence goes down. At least when you're a child, you have an excuse of not having the experiences of the world. By the time you get to college, you should know these things. But yet, yeah.
Oh. Well, let's just put it this way: most college students are still kids.
Well, okay. Let me ask you this question though. All right,
sir.
so we're talking about the hot ramen, right?
Yep.
Who here in the room has burnt their mouth on a steaming, piping hot pizza straight out of the oven that you just could not wait to take that first bite? You take that first bite and you're like, holy shit, I just burnt the roof of my mouth and I can't taste the rest of the damn pizza.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've done that with pizza. I've done that with quesadillas, soups of all shapes and sizes.
Yeah. For some reason, it's pizza with me. There's something about pizza with me where I just can't wait. And
you think you're okay, and that's that sauce that's hiding between the cheese and the crust that just squirts and curtain.
It's the latent lava just waiting to attack.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's a freaking hot lava magma sauce.
I love some good magma in my mouth.
Okay, that's Anyways.
Hey, you extrapolated from that, not me.
Speaking of childhoods, let's pause to in remembrance of AOL dial-up, as it is officially now over. The last chance to dial up was September 30th of this year.
The classic sound of your modem dialing into AOL. You finally get connected to the chat room, and then your parents pick up the phone, and you get disconnected.
Hello? No!
Yeah, trying to explain to parents why they couldn't, call or etc. I don't know about you, but for me, it was not a conversation that bared any useful fruit.
Yes.
Other than being like, we pay the phone bill. We don't care. We're gonna make a phone call anyways. I'm like, okay. I was 12 at the time. There wasn't a whole lot I could actually do.
To be honest with you, I think for the most part, my parents didn't interrupt my. I mean, because I really was rarely on a computer when I was growing up. But I think I can't tell you how many times either myself or my parents wouldn't even check to see if someone was on the phone and would dial someone else's number.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah. So.
Oh yes, the good old days. But yeah, there was that moment, and you'd be like, "Am I going to connect? Am I going to connect? Maybe, maybe not." And then you get all the discs to try to get as free minutes as possible because it was not unlimited internet back in the day. You had to do this crazy thing and have your allocation of minutes.
Yes. Allocation of minutes.
And then you get into a chat room that maxed out at 23 people, if I remember right.
I think it was 24, wasn't it?
Maybe 23, somewhere around there. 23, 24
I think everything was done in eights. So 8, 16, 24.
24.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. And then, of course, you had the infamous away messages, which was a light into a person's soul of who they were, depending on the deep and profound away message that they left.
The motivational quote or the absolute garbage quote.
What you call? Hold on. Oh my gosh, having a brain fart for the word. Trivia game going on your away message.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So that's what you were known for. Was there? I mean, I know we're at a different age of the internet, obviously, but there are some silly, fun, innocent things from back in the day.
Yeah.
That like, there's like a point of no return because like back then, like you could like when you had your away message for AIM, right? It was like secluded to a certain subset of friends and people you knew. So like it wasn't ruined by the mass hordes of crazy people. Nowadays, somebody does anything like that on like, I guess the equivalent would be like an Instagram or TikTok, I suppose.
Yep.
It would be overrun with bots and people just trolling and all kinds of other crap. So there are some things like that from back in the day, like you just can't emulate. And like those chat rooms, they were a very unique way to interact with the world. I mean, granted, you don't know who you're actually talking to. I think we all can acknowledge that.
Yes.
But you'd still be chatting because you could join like targeted chat rooms about like sports or music or other various things. And obviously things would go off the rails sometimes, but there were definitely some interesting, good discussions that could go on there. And then you could send private DMs to people inside of there, which, looking back, our parents probably would not have approved of that because nowadays you'd be sent to like jail or something, who knows? But
yes,
like it was a very different way of interacting with the internet back with dial-up than it is now. Some of it for worse, some of it for better.
Agreed.
Yeah, but I definitely do miss some of those things. Like the chat rooms were actually fun. Yeah, I don't know. It's just different, man.
Yes, indeed, it is. Okay. So I don't know if I don't know what music streaming services everyone uses out there, but for those out there who are Spotify, as patrons, subscribers, listeners, whatever, there is some news that just came out, and that is that Spotify has just removed, I believe this was 2 days ago, they removed 75 million songs from their service.
Oh, dear.
Now, before everyone goes, what? Huh? The reason for this is it turns out that Spotify, and I'm sure other music streaming services, but Spotify, for this exact example or story, has been inundated with AI-created content. And those 75 million songs was AI created content, which is no longer on the platform.
Oh yeah, maybe it's the genres I listen to, but like I can pretty confidently say I have not heard AI slop on Pandora. And that's not an advertisement for Pandora. I just wonder if it's because like I basically listen to metal stations on Pandora,
Mm-hmm.
and that might not be, I guess, the target audience for AI slop. I don't know if there's like a target, station that you'd for your AI slop for. Would it be
Right.
pop music? Maybe I don't know. That's definitely outside of my sphere of knowledge. Um, because like if I heard, because I've like, because there's only so many songs out there, right? So
Right.
I've heard most of the songs at some point. So every once in a while I hear like a song I don't recognize. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Who is this? And I'll look
Mm-hmm.
up pretty quickly and be like, okay, it's like at this point at least, the thought doesn't go through my mind of like, this is a fake, is this a fake AI band?
Right.
Uh, I'm always just kind of curious who it is, and I'm hoping it never does get to that point. Um, because as we talked about in the past with AI versus real, there is still
Yeah.
something about that human connection of music where like it is a real person. And I get a lot of it, face look and calm where it's souls and et cetera, et cetera. But at least it's still a person somewhere in there.
Right.
But even then, so kind of a tangent of that, you look at, a lot of music has so many, synth and backing tracks where it's, back in the day of like, the classic rock, you basically have like two tracks synced together.
Yep.
Or not synth together, sync together. And that was it. Like
Right. Right.
you had a master track and a backing track, and that was it. And that was your song. Nowadays, it's like you look at the master tracks for these songs, and it's like you got 60 overlayer tracks. And a lot of that is created by like MIDI music. It's not like I'm actually playing, my guitar or my drums or my keyboard. It's my synth music is doing that for me.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a little bit that AI already going on in music. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That's just a reality because that's a lot of stuff you got to create for it. It's just a very different way of music that we had back in the day.
True.
Yeah, it's just times are changing, man.
I personally am not affected by this at all. I literally listen to it on Spotify. It is just my favorites list.
There you go.
I've got like a shit ton of songs because I've, been listening to music for a bit. And so I just have a very long ass list of music, and I just hit shuffle, and
Nice.
that's what I listen to.
That works.
And then from time to time, I'll add new songs, but it'll be by like a song basis. It's not like I'm gonna just be like, give me all of the, I don't know, operatic video game, blah blah blah.
That sounds amazing, though.
Well, you know that that the original I know this is a sidebar, but the original Proto Man album was they did it in a rock opera type of situation where there's actually like stage directions and stuff that goes with it.
Yeah, I mean, from having seen them live, it makes sense because they definitely
Yes.
had that theatrics with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, anyways, 75 million AI slop has been removed.
If you want to see one of the OG's theatricals, last night I was watching some live videos of the OG Meatloaf, which is some true stage theatrics when it comes to their music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Zealeus will do anything, but he won't do that.
Well played, sir.
Okay. Anyways, okay, but so moving on to another AI story because AI is everywhere, and this one has gotten a huge chunk of a certain demographic thoroughly pissed, and that demographic is Hollywood actors and actresses, and to take it a step further, all of them that are under I always get the Screen Actors Guild.
SAG-AFTRA.
Huh?
Isn't it just basically SAG-AFTRA?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yep.
Anyways, they're thoroughly pissed because of an individual by the name of Tilly Norwood. Now, why would they be all angry at a young lady by the name of Tilly Norwood?
I don't know. Please tell us.
It's because Tilly Norwood doesn't actually exist. Tilly Norwood is an AI created actress that has her own social media account, and apparently has like popped up in some, I think, just internet only commercials. And it's basically just kind of like a portfolio for. Let me see if I could get the right. What is the company? Particle 6. They create digital content for film and TV, and they want to show that their AI is that good that it could be passed off as a real live actress, which of course makes lots and lots of people very, very angry because that would take away lots and lots of jobs.
My cynical theory is this is a trial run.
Yes.
Whoever created this new, there'll be backlash. And it's one of those things where you just keep on trying and keep on trying until basically someday people have reached the threshold of, well, we've seen this 20 times. We've had an uproar 20 times, and I just don't care anymore. For better or for worse, at some point, I feel like we're saying that a lot this episode, but it's going to come where they're already going. I mean, we've already seen it with people who passed away, and they show up in movies.
You had the hologram of Stan Lee at Comic-Con.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a little bit different, at least because a person at least existed in real life on the cinemas. But at some point, I have no doubt that we will see AI-generated characters in movies, because ultimately it comes down to the Moonies, and having a AI-generated actor who you don't have to pay anything to other than, the video producers whose jobs will be taken by AI anyways in the first place, doesn't cost you money, and they can't go on strike. They can't picket. They can't demand negotiations for et cetera, et cetera. So
for now, okay, we're speeding towards that Skynet, my friend.
True, fair. But you know that the execs at the top, that's all they're looking at. They don't care about the purity of acting or the morality or anything else. They care about one thing and one thing only, and what is going to allow them to buy more yachts on the ocean. And the answer is AI.
Well, I know that speaking of AI, there is for those out there who've been following sports of every shape and size, there is, I believe, robotic umpires that are going to be introduced into baseball in sometime in the near future.
I feel like that's a little bit different because, so when you come to art work, like music or acting, or we talk about drawing and conventions, there's a person behind that, and it gives it a certain realism and social connection that we're looking for as humans.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to sports, I'm not there to connect with the ref. I'm not there to be upstaged by a ref kicking out a player because he was laughing at the bench at something not related to the ref. That is not why.
Very interesting.
What?
You brought the referee or the umpire throwing players out for misconduct. The robot umpire is only going to be able to call balls and strikes. How are they going to deal with?
Think about it though, because in baseball, one of the biggest reasons people get thrown out is what?
They argue about balls and strikes and if they were safe or not.
So, I know to your point, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I know I'm not a baseball watcher, but I know for baseball, one of the quirks or idiosyncrasies of it is the flavor of the home base ump, meaning, do they have a small strike zone? Do they have a wide strike zone?
Right.
What do they consistently call kind of things?
Yep.
And pitchers will play to that knowledge. You can, you can paint the outside of the batter's box more than other umps. Guy like Greg Maddux would 100% take advantage of that, who had
Oh
that
God, yes.
pinpoint to a millimeter accuracy.
Yeah.
And that is part of the charm of baseball, if that's your thing. I don't know. It's in that regard, or I don't know. It is interesting. Or, you look at a sport like, for instance, hockey or soccer, where now you're looking at, or I guess you go NFL, also with the ball, where, the ball crossing the plane, like be it the goal plane.
Yep.
The big thing is like offsides in the goal line for soccer. So now you got the chip in your ball to give it that more automated process versus, a guy 20 yards away who's blocked by 4 people and actually couldn't see what is happening.
Right.
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. In a way, it's kind of hard to gauge. Will the sport be more or less better and interesting with the virtual refs, umpires, until it happens? Because you just don't know until you've experienced that in a way. I will say, if anything, especially in football, it seems like reviews somehow with our 1,800 cameras and AI.
Still can't get it.
What?
With 1,800 cameras, still can't decide if it's a catch or not.
Yes, like there has to be an expedited. Like there's no reason a review should take like 8 minutes every bloody time. Like this is something where like I feel like everyone could agree on whether like the purity of the game, not was like regardless of the purity. I think everybody from the purists to the new trendsetters would be like, can we just make these damn reviews quicker?
Yes.
For every sport. That's to me the most infuriating thing.
Yes.
Or something to see it and like it should immediately be like, no, that's upheld. Like, why are we even looking at this?
Yep.
You don't need to spend, part of it's the TV timeout because they got to make them make the commercials, but there's no reason they should all take that long.
Well, there's still plenty of other opportunities for TV timeouts, okay?
Yeah, there are. No, they will make them. We know that.
Oh, no, very aware. Yeah. I'll say this real quick, and then we're going to move on to one more AI story. There is a very strange rumor being whispered that there are certain sports teams that are like 100% into the analytics to make their team the best, and that's going to lead to AI managers or coaches. And I don't
that's
know.
baseball. That's Moneyball in baseball.
Yeah.
Billy Bean. That was the thing he popularized, and that's a big thing that's come to basketball with advanced analytics.
Yep.
Okay. I'll be the first to admit I don't know a lot about baseball because I find it a boring sport. But it seems like if there's ever a sport that could basically be AI'd from a coaching perspective, it would be baseball.
Yeah.
And I think, and the reason is it's not to diminish the player's skills because they have skills. It's you don't have scripted plays like you do in football and basketball. Like, football, every play is scripted, right?
Yep.
Basketball, I know you do ad-libbing, but you still have plays. So I think that's the difference with coaching in those versus baseball. I know you still have to know like how to throw under certain circumstances, what to do as a base runner and fielder and stuff. But for the most part, it's like you pitch and hit. There's only so many plays in that regard. So just from that regard, I feel like baseball could be the most AI-ified when it comes to decision making, and particularly what stats actually matter for a baseball player. Because for years it was, the batting average, and that's all that mattered.
Yep.
And now that advanced, and it looks like no, it's this other stuff that actually matters more, and that's where I think, I can definitely see the AI. Or you no longer see starting pitchers take complete games. They only pitch like 6 innings at the most, and then they're pulled.
Which is stupid. Anyway, one more AI story, and that is that in California, a police officer performing a traffic stop on a car that performed an illegal U-turn discovered that it was a self-driving car, and therefore could not give the driver a ticket as there was no driver.
Kind of seems gone. Yep.
I don't know how do you.
It seems logical to me that if it's an AI driven car, that the owner of the car takes the liability of any tickets, and therefore
True.
the owner is the one who should be ticketed.
Agreed. Yeah.
It
I
seems
like that.
like, I've decided I want my Wemo. I'm guessing that's what it was.
Yeah, it's a Waymo.
Yeah, or Waymo. That I'm the owner of it, and I take responsibility basically when it's on the road. Seems fair to me because, to your point, we're going to be seeing more automated cars
Hmm.
that are driverless. So yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Still waiting for drones to deliver my packages.
I
I'm just saying.
mean, it happened in War of the Worlds, bro, and it saved the world.
Actually, what I'd really like is for drones to deliver my pizza so it could actually show up on time and not I order it for delivery at 5:45 and it's a roll of the dice if it shows up at maybe 5:30 or 6:50. Just, teeny tiny window.
Just don't leave the house ever.
I just have angry, hungry children when I order pizza that want food before we start watching the movie, and we usually start watching movies at 6. So I always get it delivered at 5:45. It's not that hard.
Sounds like a problem.
It is. It is a problem, dang it. It is a very big problem. Okay. This is some actual good news. I'd say I almost said it with a question mark, but it is good news. It's great news. For those who are looking for educational programming for your children to stream, there is Scholastic, those sons of guns that empty parents' wallets so that the children can go to the book fair every single year and end up with a ton of tchotchkes. But Scholastic is launching a streaming app that will feature shows like Clifford, The Magic School Bus, Goosebumps, and more. So basically, some of the books that there are educational cartoons based off of educational books that Scholastic sells. And so they're going to have this streaming platform up there. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not the demographic this is probably aimed at, but I'd still check it out because I loved watching the old school Goosebumps shows. So, and Magic School Bus.
It sounds like a perfect app for the kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, some good news in the world. Hooray! It's far and in between, but
it happens occasionally. Huh?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move into let's change lanes here a little bit. Actually, this one's still about TV, so it's not a complete lane change. There is yet another video game out there that apparently has gotten so much attention with, I guess, the way that the story is and the universe that's been created that there's going to be an animated series for this game. And yes, once again, just like Expedition 33, it has not come out. Now, of course, Expedition 33 did come out, but what I'm talking about is that they announced that they're going to make a TV show based on it before it was actually officially released. This game is called Absalom. It's a fantasy roguelike game. It is definitely not out yet, but it is already going to get an animated series to go with it.
I never even heard of this one.
So, Absalom is it's going to be a Switch game. It's going to arrive on the 9th of October. But the studio behind it, Dotemu and Guard Crush Games, have announced that there is an animated series in the works. It's going to build upon Absalom's lore and narrative, expanding its universe beyond the game. Well, no one knows what the game really is at this point, so you could basically say anything you want.
Yeah. I'm looking at it on Steam, and I'm just kind of like, okay, sure, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the art style looks interesting. I just,
Yeah.
I would have to get my hands on the actual game for me um to make a decision. I will tell you this though: when I started playing Claire Obscure Expedition 33, um, and immediately within like the first like hour or two, I'm like, holy shit! Yes, you could absolutely make a TV show with multiple seasons out of this.
Yep.
Maybe if I picked up this game, I can have the same experience, but I don't know.
Sure. Sure. It's one of me. I'll wait and see. I'm still waiting for a animated series based around Final Fantasy, but whatever.
Well, which one?
All of them
See, there was
combined.
an actual anime out there that was in, I think, the late 90s, early 2000s called Final Fantasy Unlimited.
I mean, I think the obvious answer for me would be Final Fantasy 14, mainly because there's so much content around it. Because, I mean, there's other obviously great Final Fantasies. We all know that. But, like, if you're thinking in the context of multiple seasons, then do
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Or the other route, which I wouldn't be opposed to, is each Final Fantasy season is dedicated to one of the games. So maybe you plan on doing, a season of Final Fantasy 7, a season of Final Fantasy 16, et cetera, et cetera. I think that actually would be a pretty cool way of doing it.
That would, however, I think the viewership would drastically bounce up and down depending
That's
on the season.
and that's why my first inclination is to go with Final Fantasy 14.
Right.
Because you have such a wide breadth of content and lore in there already built in.
Mm-hmm.
And 14 does already they pull in characters from other Final Fantasies. Like especially for some of the boss fights.
Gotcha.
So maybe there could be a little bit of crossover potential. I don't know, but that would be to me, the first logical step would be Final Fantasy 14. But I don't know. I find it fun that you're seeing all these animated shows based around video games, most of which are pretty good. And Final Fantasy is one of the biggest, most selling series of all time, obviously, and it hasn't got one.
Right.
And quite some time at least.
I think I think we might have entered the point where if you've got a big enough IP, and I know that Absalom is not a very big IP, but with like a Final Fantasy or a Death Stranding or the Expedition 33, Borderlands, they're now all these like big recognizable franchises are now truly open to banking on let's cross medias here. Let's get
Sure.
let's expand the universe by adding a TV show or a movie. And then the gamers and fans of said universe just pray to God that someone who's actually played the freaking game and knows what the characters are supposed to act and look like is in charge of casting. And no, I still haven't seen the Borderlands movie, and I don't plan on it because I apparently will just like curl into a ball and cry because it's that bad.
When it comes on like a streaming service I already have, I will watch it just because. I'm also secretly in love with Kate Blanchett, so that doesn't hurt.
There you go. There you go.
But I don't think from everything I've read, it doesn't really help the cause of the movie, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one good thing that is coming out of this, though, is I know there's exceptions. I mean, we could think of probably one off the top of our heads.
Yeah.
Is the fact that a lot of these are TV series instead of movies is also, I think, a step in the right direction because, it's hard to tell a video game story in under 2 hours because normally there's so much content. Whereas now, hopefully, by telling it in a TV series, it can breathe a little bit and give a chance to actually explore some of the things that are going on. So I'm also a fan of the fact that they are, whether they're animated or live action, the fact that we got to the point where TV series are not secondary to movies has also helped too.
Right.
You're still going to see duds because, regardless of whether it's movie or TV shows, there's always going to be shows that I'm not quite the purist that you are, but there is also I lean more on you already have a great story. That's why people are interested in this as a TV show and a game. Why completely tear up that story and tell a new one? We already have this fantastic story,
Mm-hmm.
or at least the basis of a story.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the biggest one I think comes to most people's minds recently is Halo.
I watched. I mean, it was the couple episodes I watched were okay.
It was okay. That's the best I can say. I'm like, it was okay.
Yeah.
And I got done. I mean, I watched all of season one, and I felt no need to watch the second season. I was just like, okay, I watched it, saw it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
It was just a show. That's best I can say about it. It was a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A great, in my opinion, a great adaptation from video game to an animated series is Castlevania.
Mm. Castlevania is great. Dragon's Dogma was really good.
Yep.
Uh,
There's a
League of
bunch of those
Legends
that just
is-
came out like at the exact same time. So sometimes
Yep.
certain storylines get mixed up in my head.
Oh, 100%. Yes. Some of them do. Because you had not League of Legends. What was the other one that's like League of Legends? I'll think of it later. There's another one that's like Dragon's Dogma, where like you, I did not remember what episode was what between the two because they both had to do with like dragons and mystical gods falling from the earth and other shit. I'm like, this is the same show.
Oh God, no, that's gonna
Yeah,
bug
no,
the
like-
crap out of me.
It was good, but it's like it was the same exact show, and I don't know which is which still. But League of Legends to me is one of the best shows.
Arcane,
So, yes,
which is
sorry,
based in the
wow.
League of Legends universe.
Yes. So League of Legends Arcane, especially parts of season 2, is some of the best TV period I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say the other ones weren't good, but you kind of, you get to this is good to like, this is just genius, basically.
Right.
But because they're TV series, we've had that opportunity to explore that you would have never got otherwise. So yeah, I hope more good television shows based off of, based off of video games continue to come out.
Agreed.
We'll see.
I will have to find this.
Yeah, you know exactly. If you see it, you'll be like, "Oh, this is it."
God dang it! It's gonna bug the crap out of me. And I wish I don't know if you can on the app if you could just search for only on Netflix or Netflix original. So I'll have to do that later. Anyways, okay. So let's, ladies and gentlemen, let's pause real quick to thank the individuals who help Alta Confusion be the Alta Confusion that you love and adore, and that, of course, is the friends of the show. And without further ado, let us start it off right by going with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the AV master himself, and that, of course, is Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Whack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next shout out I got to give is to an individual who needs to come over to my house like pronto because I have some crazy back pains from sitting in a computer chair too often. And that, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. The next shout I want to the next shout out we have to give is to the music maestro himself, and that, of course, is CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Alter Confusion? CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. And the final shout out we got to give is to the original backer on Patreon for Alter Confusion. That, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, X leads both a development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus, but while not in meetings and many times during. He is the Agile evangelist Agile X, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com.
Okay, real quick.
Yes,
I
sir.
found it. Dota 2.
What? Dota 2. Yep.
As soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's it.
That's absolutely it. You were absolutely right. And just in case anyone's going, what? Dota 2 and Dragon's Dogma were like interchangeable. You're just like, I can't remember which one it was. What?
They had both like main male type of badass characters. They both had like god type of things going on. They both had like big
Dragons.
like dragoness type of monsters.
Yep.
They're both really good. I thoroughly enjoyed both of them. They were just super
couldn't tell them apart.
Yeah, from an animated perspective, like same show. It's
Yep.
actually 4 seasons, not just 2 of each.
Well, there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know that you are dying to know, how do I become a friend of the show for Alter Confusion? Well, it's quite simple. Alter Confusion survives on love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, werewolves, vampires, swamp creatures, mummies, supporters, and more become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have 2 tiers. We have the $1 a month tier. That's $1 a month or $12 a year. And what you get at that level is early access to all of our playthroughs, which right now is the first season of the Walking Dead Telltale game. And you also gain the ability to participate in patron-only posts. Now, if you're feeling a little frisky, you could jump that up from $1 to $5 a month, and that's $5 a month or $60 a year. What that gets you is everything at the $1 tier, but in addition, you gain your name or organization added to the Friends of the Show section of every single Thursday night hangout. So, if you want to become a patron of Alter Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Altered Confusion today. I'm sorry, like I am getting like the worst cotton mouth all of a sudden. So just give me 1 sec.
Well, stop eating cotton. I don't
I'm
know
not
what it
eating
is,
coffin,
bro.
Zealeus.
I
Coffin.
don't know, man.
Cotton,
I'm a little worried
not
about your
coffin.
diet.
Good Lord. All right. We do also want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that we are proud to say that we have been fundraising for Extra Life for 14 years straight. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact to the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion today. One more shout out, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, I know that some of you out there are dying to get your hands on some Alter Confusion merch, like perhaps a hat, or maybe you need a beanie in your life, or the amazingly durable vinyl sticker, or a coffee cup that kind of looks like this but slightly different because we redid the design. Well, you're in luck. All you got to do is go to alteredconfusion.tv/merch. That's MERCH. And you too can have some sweet merchandise with Alter Confusion plastered all over it.
Nice.
Okie dokie. Back to it, shall we? All right, the next topic is a question that I was asked, and it was completely out of left field, and I posted it on our Discord channel, which, of course, ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion does have a Discord channel, and if you're interested in joining, if you're watching this live, hit the exclamation mark Discord, and if you're not watching this live, just hit us up on and just comment on the video on any of the platforms, and we will get you the invite. But anyways, the question was simply, we all know that there is like baseball Hall of Fames and football Hall of Fames, but should there be a esports Hall of Fame? And I asked this question earlier in the week because I wanted to see what others would say, and I'm very happy to report that there was some discussion, and that, of course, is that esports is very broad. There are those out there who, like esports, to me, when esports really broke was like the StarCraft 2 days.
Yep.
And then, of course, then it went into MOBAs, and there's first-person shooters, and then there's like the collectible card games, and God knows what else. Freaking Rocket League, which is soccer with RC cars. There's just
it's a little bit tricky because it's almost like asking, should we have a ball Hall of Fame?
Right.
Meaning,
No. It kind of ends up being, do we want a sports Hall of Fame instead of a basketball and a football and a hockey and.
Yep. Yeah. So, but we're never going to have a StarCraft Hall of Fame.
No.
And a Dota Hall of Fame. Like, that's just the only way that would happen is like the publisher basically made a Hall of Fame in their lobby.
Yes.
Would really be the only way that, like, Valve would have to set up a Dota and Counter-Strike one at their headquarters. Like, that I could actually see them doing as like a little side exhibit thing for people to check out. That I kind of see. You do actually have, something I could see it being at Mopop. So that's that's like the Museum of Pop Art in Seattle, Washington, where they have like various exhibits. They have like one about like sci-fi and fantasy. They have one about like manga one out there. So they have like various ones about pop culture. So I could actually see them doing like I don't know if they would necessarily call it a Hall of Fame, but just like a, computer game exhibit where, yes, they would probably think about esports. Oops.
Right.
So you do have some, but having a dedicated esports museum is hard. And we kind of even look at what Blizzard tried doing with, Overwatch esports league, right? It was supposed to be millions of dollars, and it would be based in certain physical locations, and it was this grandiose idea. And Blizzard's a money, or I guess I don't know, a company have to sneeze. Flush with cash, so it's not like you're talking about some small time, company trying to do this,
right?
And that obviously didn't work for them. So that's where I see the difficulty in this actually coming to life. Is kind of that long-term profit margin basically coming. Because you think of like, the Baseball Hall of Fame and the NFL Hall of Fame, like, in a way for them, it doesn't matter if it makes money, right? Because that's like a 0.0001% rounding error of somebody's starting salary, right? Like, it's so infinitesimal in the grand scheme of things where it doesn't matter. But like, who's going to pay for an esports museum?
Right.
Maybe EA with the new $55 billion deal they just got. Who knows?
Well, that's the other thing is like with baseball's been around for 100 years, and football's been around for a long ass time. So is basketball and hockey, and yes, there has been changes to the game. Some rules been tweaked, but it's literally the same thing. It would be like trying to make a Hall of Fame for Counter-Strike 2, or trying to make a Hall of Fame for I don't know, GoldenEye. It's not the same. Yes, the first person shooters are always evolving, and so are MOBAs, and so are strategy games, and there's not going to be that one game out there. I mean, that's the beauty of video games, in theory, is that there are multitudes of flavors that you can find your perfect match, or the closest to perfect match.
I think it makes more sense to be part of something else. Like, I didn't even know that we had a computer museum here in Georgia,
Yes.
in Roswell. So, like, something as a
Yes, we
part
do.
of,
I've gone putt golfing next to it.
it's like, oh, it's the MIMS Museum of
Yeah.
Technology and Art. Cool.
Yeah, there's a
So,
movie theater and a putt course right next to it.
yeah, so something like that, I think, and a floor and decor.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
something like that makes sense to me to have it like as a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's kind of the overall, because esports is in a way part of the history of computers nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in that context that makes sense. But as a standalone, yeah.
And the other thing is, like, with like professional sports, the people who get into these Hall of Fames, their names still have relevance. I'm not saying that esports people, when they retire, may not, still, their name might still not carry some weight, but in an age where things change on like a millisecond basis, there's going to be very, 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 very few names that stick around. I mean, I'm never really got into watching League of Legends or StarCraft 2 or any of that stuff. So I can't, so I don't know any of the big names that, were the dominant forces, or in the fighting tournaments, the Evo stuff. I don't know any of like the big names. So, like, I'm a huge basketball fan. So, I mean, I could still list like a bunch of guys who are in the Hall of Fame, but I don't know if there's enough weight behind the names. I mean, yeah, I mean, you could let's look at the videos.
You can show their greatest pentakills.
But the other thing is, for like professional athletes, they usually, most of them stick with a couple teams, right? But in this world, this digital world, there's of course there's a game that Zealeus and I followed locally and went to many of their world championships, Smite. And there's one player that I don't know if he still plays Smite, but he used to play Smite. His name is his gamer tag is Barracuda, and he's been on like, I don't know, 7 or 8 teams. And so, and basically all the teams that he previously was on are now defunct. It'd be like, for sports people out there, like the Atlanta Falcons sticking around for 2.5 seasons and then going the way of the dodo, and then you just don't have that, I don't know, the same name recognition, because you're bouncing. It's not the gamer's fault. It's really up to the sponsors and whatnot, and that's what Blizzard and all of the people who had just had money to freaking burn were trying to do, was to have landlocked, or not landlocked, but teams that are locked into a specific city, so that you can grow that brand and people could get behind it, instead of Cloud9. I mean, NRC. I mean, insert other random
Which I do think
here.
was actually a really cool idea. Unfortunately, it also happened to coincide with COVID.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That kind of, I know it already had its, potential, like, is this going to work? But once COVID hit, it was done.
Well, I'm going to be really honest with you. COVID killed a lot of things. I mean,
Yep.
Speaking personally, Ultra Confusion absolutely got kicked in the nuts really, really hard by COVID, because the way that Ultra Confusion kept relevance was going to conventions. And guess what didn't happen during COVID?
Real people.
real people didn't, because there would be people who we meet the same people we would meet every single time at a convention. Like, oh, that's right, and they would get back into it because of the actual physical face-to-face interactions.
Yep. And I'm still not convinced that people like Akiki one are real. Like, for all I know, they're just figments of my imagination, and Charlie's just pulling the prank on me.
Sadly, my split personalities cannot type while I talk. So
I mean, you
it's
just
not me.
admitted to having split personalities. So I'm
I
not
do.
so
I do. I know this was probably right at the beginning of COVID. This is a weird ass story, but I used to do like a lot of like streaming during the day. And I would have conversations where I would change my voice, but I wouldn't be like facing the actual camera, and it was the weirdest shit. So those are the voices inside my head that came outside. Now they don't so much because I locked them away. I don't know. I really don't know why. But anyways, okay. So the creator. Moving on to the next story, the creator of The Witcher has come out and basically said that he wishes that he never mentioned a certain sentence out loud because now it's influenced future like projects and all that stuff. And he kind of, so basically in The Witcher, you've got the individuals who go through this ritual, they get training and all that stuff. But he made this offhand comment about the House of the Wolf, which kind of made it sound more like Gryffindor and Slytherin and Hufflepuff. And now he's like, no, I fucking hate the fact that I said that shit. Yeah.
I don't know anything about that, honestly. Like, most of what I know about Witcher is from the TV show, honestly. So
I've read some of the books. I've read some of the graphic novels. His books are pretty good. They can get a little wordy from time to time, but they're pretty solid. It gets a little confusing as to which book goes where. At least that was my experience.
Yeah,
I know someone could probably like Wikipedia it or Google it and be like, "This is the order you're supposed to read in." But if you're looking through like the any ebook store or whatever, there's not in the blurb about the book, it's not like this is the follow-up to this. It's literally like,
yeah,
Geralt is on an adventure to do that, and you're like, but was that before the book I just read or after the book, or is that like 5 books removed? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm reading some Warhammer 40K, and it's really bad about doing that same exact thing. Or like, let's look in Wikipedia to figure out, like, wait, I just read this book. What should I actually read next?
Yes. From my understanding, this like House of the Wolf or whatever, Witcher schools, it's bled into the lore of the games. CD Projekt has been incorporating it in the Witcher game. And so the author's like, no.
I mean, I'm just saying the School of the Wolf is on the official Witcher wiki.
Yeah.
So it's free. It's got to be real.
Of course,
man.
absolutely. And we all know that anything that's on the internet has to be 100% true in some parallel universe. Right?
Somewhere in somebody's mind, it's real.
Now, Zealeus alluded to this next one, and that is that EA has been acquired for $55 billion. That's with a B, $billion. And could be good, could be bad, but I will tell you.
It's gonna be terrible. Like,
but I'll tell you one company that's already on the chop block. BioWare has a very, very, very good chance of having to shutter their doors. And this is also at the same time that we're that I think it's Amazon still in the process of making a Mass Effect TV show.
I mean, how often do mergers, acquisitions, fill in whatever word you want to use,
Yep.
for video game publishers actually improve their product.
No, you're with this size of a merger, you know there's going to be liquidations.
They do it because they want to make a quick turnaround profit,
Yep.
bleed all their assets for all the money they can up front. Long-term consequences be damned. The only thing that's going to survive are going to be like your Call of Duties,
And Madden.
Maddens. I assume they have a soccer game of some sort. I think I saw somewhere.
The Sims.
The Sims. So like big franchises like that doesn't survive. You might
Yeah.
get worse. It's very possible, or they just don't iterate, which is often the case, anyways. Um, but in the long term, it's the best case scenario is honestly like a BioWare does get spun off. Because the other fear too is like, given who they were acquired by and some of the more scandalous themes you see in the BioWare type of games, that those would no longer be allowed in a game developed by the new owners. And that is one of the things that have made BioWare games great in the past is that gives the player the freedom. They don't have to, but they have the freedom to go to some of these more interesting moral and
romantic endeavors.
And it's one of those things where like, you don't have to do it. It's that gamer's choice, but that choice is still there to do it. And I could easily see with these new owners, with any of those kind of freedoms being eliminated. So, yeah, we just basically need a new BioWare.
Yeah. So real quick, Zealeus alluded to it. The deal is for the merge being done by the private equity firm Silver Lake Partners, Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund PIF, and Affinity Partners. And not only are they buying this, but they're taking EA private, which means that it'll be removed from the stock market.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's also, if you've been watching, that is this Saudi Arabia equity firm, that's been their MO, because they are seeing that, there will be a future where oil has dried up or all renewables. I mean, it might be 10, 50, 100 years from now. We don't know, but at some point it's going to happen. And so they've actually started to largely move into buying out entertainment type of companies. There's a race car. I don't follow race car, but it's like F1 or something that they're heavily leveraged into. Rumor are that they're going to buy at some point out TKO, who owns WWE, because they're already so in bed with each other. So in a way, that has been what Saudi Arabia has been doing with this private equity firm. And because, to your point, they're going private, so they're also not beholden to some of the other regulations they might otherwise, because they're no longer a publicly traded company, which is ironic in a way, because going publicly traded is then what screws over a lot of companies, because now they're beholden only to the stockholders and not the actual consumer.
Yep.
So it's all kinds of, yeah. So I'm not optimistic for EA's future. I mean, outside of BioWare games, EA games have never been really my bread and butter anyways. And to be fair, BioWare games that I played were before the acquisition anyways. So for me, I'm kind of like, I'm very much this acquisition. I'm like, these aren't my games anyways. This doesn't affect me as far as whatever. If it could only actually, for me in my game playing, be beneficial.
Right.
Because I don't care if they destroy Madden to be. Honestly, destroying Madden would be good, because then maybe we'd have competition. It's not going to happen. I mean, I know it's a totally naive way of looking at it, but that would be the only good outcome.
Speaking of EA, and you have to go way, way, way in the back, in the Wayback Machine for me. But there was definitely some EA titles that were worthwhile. They just haven't done anything, in my opinion, worthwhile since like the 90s.
Okay.
but that was as developers, not as publishers, which is what they really do now.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, you're all right that they had the classics.
they did have some classics. Now, I would, and the other thing is like some of like the new, I guess not really newer. I mean, like early 2000 games that they published that I would have been into. I'm still waiting on sequels. I would love to see a new SSX. Not gonna lie, the snowboard extreme tricks game. I would love that. I would so freaking love the shit out of that. But anyways, that's besides the point. Um, there's also real quick. There's another company out there that had some bad news come out, and that of course is Starbreeze Studios. Um, they are canceling what was considered a very interesting project. There was code name Baxter. It was a Dungeons and Dragons game that they were going to make. They completely canceled it. They've laid off 44 staff members, and they're putting all of their focus into the next chapter of Payday, which I think I tried the original Payday for half a second. I was like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
So sad news for me, but happy news for others, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't understand how some of these games or get sequeled, but is that even a word? I don't even know.
Somebody somewhere out there likes them.
Yeah. Someone likes me. One other bit of news, and this is probably more towards the slightly older generation, and that is that Rock Band 4 will be delisted this upcoming weekend, and its DLC will soon follow.
Hot damn!
The license for the game's core soundtracks is expiring, and so are so basically all the licenses for all the DLC are going to slowly expire as well, because they're not going to re-up it.
Yeah, it's the end of an era in a way.
Yes,
it was a time, man. It was a time. So I looked for just to see Rock Band on Steam. Instead, I found a game called K-Pop and Rock Band Manager. Let's go. Maybe I can create my own form of Huntrix.
There you go. Or Saja Boys.
Sure.
Anyways. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have unfortunately reached the end of our show. So, I would like to thank everyone for tuning into the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure getting ready to come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next week for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
And remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. I don't want to get too sentimental here, but there was someone who asked me recently, that you don't really get a lot of views on YouTube for your Thursday Night Hangout. You ever think about just stop doing it? And to be honest, Sam and Chip and all the other guys who will randomly jump in, that's why we keep doing it, to be honest. So there you go. Look, if we, like I said during the show, if COVID really screwed us over. I think that if we had been able to keep at the pace, we would probably be in a much better place, and I would probably be more open to doing some crazy changes. But at this point, it's for the love of doing it.
It's for the love of the game.
It's for the love of the game, man. It's for serious. Zealeus, what have you been playing?
I've been playing. I can never remember the title of this game. Shape Hero Factory.
So you continue to play this game?
Yeah, it's basically, if anyone else, it's basically take Factorio and you make heroes and you throw them into a crystal and then you go fight a boss with the heroes you made. I'm enjoying it. It's a good game.
I'm still
Still
playing
playing.
the shit out of a game called Afterimage, which is that Metroidvania game.
Yeah.
Where I finally unlocked a new ability. That makes me so freaking happy.
Oh, I've done a couple runs of Hades 2, and I'm so terrible at the game, but I'm still going to persevere.
I still haven't done it. I mean, I haven't jumped back in. I, of course, have put some serious time into
Yeah.
Hades 2, but I haven't jumped back in. It's been quite a while. Actually, let's see here. When's the last time I was in Hades? August the 5th. I put 44 hours in by
Yeah, you
August
did
the
for a
5th.
few hours, yeah.
So there's
So,
just a couple hours in there.
I will continue to persevere.
There you go. Like I said, I've been playing a lot of Afterimage. And I've been playing some Afterimage. Then I was also playing like a bunch of random other games. Because if you were trying to watch the show last week on the wrong day, you may have noticed that our signal kept dropping. So I've been playing different games with like slightly different tweaks to make sure that this Thursday night hangout actually went off without issues like last week.
I will be playing October 9th, which is next hangout.
Yes.
Will be Blue Protocol Star Resonance is releasing. It's a anime style MMO that I've been following for years that has been like published by a different company, then published by a different company, and then stopped production, closed, got by another company. So it's been in basically production hell for like years of like, and then it got remade. So it's been like a whole thing.
Jesus.
And now it's finally getting an actual like US release.
Fantastic.
It looks honestly a lot like Tower Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
So it could very easily be a game I play for like an hour and be like, I played this game before, just with a different coat of paint now. So we'll just see.
Man, I've done that way too many times.
It definitely happens.
Especially with cool game. Let me check it out. Wait. Isn't this blah blah blah?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna shut it down. Thanks again for tuning in.